Hey guys, welcome back to Dislyte. In today's video, we have a huge new feature coming to the game, and I believe that we will be getting this feature through raids. Now, I could be wrong. Basically, the feature, we'll go through a bit more in depth, but, you know, one of the games that they've been taking some inspiration from introduced this type of feature in raids. I'll show you some footage from the original closed, like the first closed beta of the game, of the boss that I believe we will be getting these from. Now, whether it is a raid boss or not, we'll have to wait and see. None of this is actually known. I will cover it as soon as we do find out, but like I said, I think this is going to be a raid boss that we will get, which will be absolutely sick. If it's a multiplayer raid boss, I will absolutely love it. But let's check it out. So it's about time to boost the power of your relics. New system intro. Boost stones can boost the power of relics of any quality, randomly increasing their secondary attribute by a certain amount. The boost stone in use must match the relic and the set attribute. Now, this one's a thread, so we'll go down. I'll show you this image in a sec. Boost stones can be obtained in Desolate lands. Now, Desolate lands is what I'm assuming will be like, maybe when we go, I don't know, maybe if we jump back here for a sec, where is it? There. If we jump into the game and we bounce over here, my assumption is that Desolate, this is just a guess, my guess would be that Desolate lands will be the unknown. That would be my guess. At this point, we'll have to wait and see. But will be obtained from Desolate lands, and then I'm assuming we're going to have different bosses that will eventually come out through there. So, you know, I have to wait and see. That's my big guess. Each secondary attribute boosted value can only be replaced. They don't stack. Requirements unlock for squad level 50 plus players. So let's jump into this and take a look at the image now that we are here. So it's a little bit small, not the easiest to see, but what you can see is over here we do have these boost stones. And like I said, the boss, I'm hoping they do use the boss that I'm thinking they'll use, because it was a really cool fight in the beta. But these stones, so as you can see, they have a set. So this one's obviously going to be the immunity set, and then they have a stat. So defense bonus, you can see like all the different substats that you can get. Now, when they say they can't be stacked, they can only be replaced, this is going to add a more frustrating RNG into it. In my opinion, we'll have to wait and see. So honestly, in all, if you don't care about PvP at all, this is a really good feature because it makes a lot of things easier, because once you start boosting those stats on your best relics, things get a lot better. But for PvP, it just adds another layer of, you know, trying to reach that cap, which I personally don't mind. The RNG side of it is a bit frustrating, but besides that, it's okay. So, for instance, speed is going to be the big one in Arena. Now, I know a lot of people are running like the bruiser comps and stuff. I don't have those. I rely entirely on speed. I still don't have a Renzi. It's sad, but so for this, like, speed is the main one I'm going to look at. Now, I'm assuming that crit rate and crit damage will be in here as well. At least I'd really hope that they will, unless they're not going to include them being able to get buffs. We'll have to wait and see. I'm assuming they just didn't fit on the screen. You got resistance accuracy as well. But for instance, if we look at speed, so when you get one of these stones, and this is just me going off of how other games do it. So this speed being +5 to +9. So say you have a speed substat on your relic. You're going to go, okay, I want to boost that. And you've got to have the right set here, and also the right substat. So then you'll go, okay, I'm going to boost the speed on this. Then you'll get a boost to that speed between 5 and 9. That's the range. So that's where the RNG comes in. However, I'm assuming that when it says they can be replaced, they don't stack. If you only got a 5 roll on that speed, you can actually redo it on that one to try and get 9. That's the way I read it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm looking at it. So at least it's not like you've got one chance to buff this speed, and if it lands a 5, like, you're just screwed with that relic in the end game. So we'll have to wait and see. But if we go here and look at something like this, just to show you an example of what I'm looking at, if we go here to my Dahlia here, I posted this one in community chat. Like, I've got a +20 speed. Yes, you can get a +24 speed, but +20 speed is really nice. It's the only relic that I've got. Actually, I do have an Ocean Waves one on my other account with 20 speed substat, but like, you know, this is a pretty decent speed roll. And if I want to make this like an absolute godly speed relic, I'd want to get +9 speed on it. However, if I put one into it, because, and like when we look at this stuff like this is, you know, I need to buff her speed, but I'm not going to put one into one with only 8 speed because I'm going to eventually get better rolls. I still can't believe that I've still only got 8 speed on these two, but I'm going to eventually get better rolls on those. So I'd want to make this one like my beastie relic. And, you know, say for instance, once I get all my relics, get a speed buff on them. If this one only rolled a 5, I should be able to get another one of these stones and roll it into this. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is when we look at these as well, these ones, you can see how they're like a legendary color. They're that red. You will have different levels of these, I would assume, for, you know, different difficulties of content and stuff like that. So these would be like the top tier, in my opinion. There could be a higher tier, but I feel like +5 to 9 is a pretty high tier. But there will be probably purple ones, you know, the general colors: purple, yellow, green, blue, all that sort of stuff. Different rarities that have lower levels of stat boosts. Once again, all speculation, but I'm pretty confident in that's how it's going to play out. By the way, just look at the cheeky substats on this speed relic. Not too bad, players. Not too bad. So that is that. So now I want to look at who I think is going to bring it. So this is from my first closed beta impressions video. So this one here, you can see we've got Countress Sonica. So unfortunately, I couldn't find any recordings on my phone. I did a lot of screen recordings of Chronos back in the day in this beta when I was testing things. I didn't really do much with her. And you can see like all the old differences from the first beta, like the different relic styles and stuff like that. It's really cool to look back at this stuff. But, you know, she was I think she was like more the poison based boss, kind of like Apep is now. You can see that we used to actually have, what's his name? Pritzker and Lu Yi over here as like blacked out bosses that they were going to have in the future. So she was actually like a normal dungeon boss. And to show you a clip of that, I just want to show you this. Now, big shout out to DK Gaming, because he was the only one that I could find actually had footage of this. It was really hard to find videos from over a year ago on it that we were trying to look for, but it used to be part of the tutorial. Like this here used to be like the tutorial fight that you got into was against Sonica. Now, this fight was really cool. I loved this fight because it was a 2-phase fight. So you'd have this first phase where she'd be behind, you know, she'd be behind the decks shooting some tunes. And by the way, Valkyrie used to be OP, because watch this ability. Watch the text on them. It says AP up. Ready? AP up. It used to be an attack buff AP up ability on a 3-star. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. They took away the AP up. But, you know, this fight was really cool because she start this phase. Once you get rid of the health bar, I think it was. I can't remember how exactly it worked. But there would be a phase 2 to this fight where she'd lose the dex, and then she'd just become this massive head. Like, I think there's like an image of her. I'll put an image up if I can find one. I think I've seen one before. But yeah, it was like this cool 2-phase fight, and hopefully we get that. Now, because they already had her as like a dungeon boss in itself, I don't know whether that could be like they do this as actual dungeons or whether they make her a raid boss. I'm assuming raid boss just because other games do these features from raids, but, you know, it could be that, you know, this is just another dungeon and, you know, we farm these from a dungeon type boss. But I'm really hoping it is going to be raid bosses and stuff like that. I love the interactivity of having, you know, raid bosses and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see. The other thing I got to put out here is, for those that don't understand why I used to get so confused with Wukong at like the start of Global and always not knowing whether Wukong was a guy or a girl, because of this. Used to be a girl. Just that's my defense. That's why I got so confused, because back in the first beta, Wukong was a girl, but no longer. So that is where my confusion always came from. But that is going to be it for the new feature, guys. I'll let you guys know once we do find out more. Relic boosting, really cool. We're going to make it much easier once you get a few of these to start, you know, farming speed runs and stuff like that, getting more damage into your units. Just quick tip, you'll only want to use these on your godly relics, especially the good ones. The lower tier ones you can throw away on, you know, not so good relics, but these are going to be very important in the game. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.